Today, while I was helping these boys to change the location and camera, a huge rod fell on my back while I was looking through the camera. And I did not react.
But otherwise, would you have?
I don't know, I would have at least shrieked, made a sound of the pain, or like another human being. I felt that something fell on somebody else.
That's because the mind has been programmed to something else. And there was another reason for it. Because in the first half of the day, all the situations that came, situations were plenty, even today. But every situation that came, today you consciously chose a response of stability. Now, every time a situation which was challenging, but you did not react and you remained stable, you conserved energy. It's energy. This is what we're talking, the energy needed to change a habit.
But it is impossible to believe that it can be so simple.
The half day today, since morning, you have remained stable in every situation and with every person's behavior. Today you have not reacted even once. So if there were about 15 situations this morning and you remained stable, there were two options, either irritation, maybe even anger, maybe even frustrated because nothing seemed to be going right. Because today again was one of those days when nothing seemed to be going right in terms of outside. But in every situation, because you remained stable, there were two options, stable or anger. So you remained stable, you conserved energy. Had you lost charge of yourself, you would have depleted energy. Now 15 times of depleting energy, and then situation passes away, but the mind remains in that mood for quite some time.
That's a very good point. I never realized the situation passes away, but the mood remains, lingers for a long time.
And by the time the next situation comes, so every time it's the next situation, the reaction is faster. It becomes automated.
Oh, because of the first situation, earlier situation, that mood is still continuing.
That mood still continues. Now, after these 15 situations, if you would have been irritated or angry, and then if that rod would have hit you, it should have been a blast, probably. Who did it? You're not taking care, you're not holding it properly, I'm not here to work like this, could be one of those reactions. But 15 times of conserving energy and a response of stability in a smaller situation. And then when the bigger one comes, the mind is already prepared. This is the way to respond. Because each time, even those situations passed away, but the mood of stability remained. It remained. And that's how it carried forwards. And this is called changing the habit.
So that's what we were talking about, habit.
Yeah.
You remember I asked you in the other episode, I said I tried so many things, this, that, but there's something called habit. Deep inside me, in my subconscious.
But then it changed today. Now, how did it change? Early morning study of a new way of thinking. I am a happy being, irrespective of whatever happens around me. Earlier, news would have been, or the newspaper would have been, no one and nothing seems to be going right in the world. There is so much mess, there are so many problems, there's pain. What we read, what we hear, information goes in. Depending on the quality of information going in is what we think. And then depending on what we think is how we act. So if we want to change how we behave and we speak, we have to change what we think. And if we want to change what we think, we'll have to start taking care of what we take in. It's not that we don't read the newspaper or don't watch news, but first thing in the morning, when the absorption capacity is very high, that's critical.
Early morning, the absorption, that is why it's called Gura Veda Vela, and that time to pray, first thing in the morning.
Blotting paper, silent mind, well rested, past finished of the previous day, ready for the next day.
Absorb.
But now it's our choice what to put on it at that time.
So by the time it absorbs very, very good things, it has less chances to absorb the other things.
Yeah, because the blotting paper starts getting saturated. About 2.5 hours of the morning is the highest absorption capacity. After that, the blotting paper starts getting saturated. So the later that we can put newspaper in the day, safer for us. So push it to 10, 12, better even evening.
As it is, it has no value. Morning newspaper in the evening has lesser value.
But the later it is, the better it is. Safer for us. And replace it with this daily study. Now, what will this daily study do? It will give us wisdom. It will give us spiritual insights. Earlier, when we're taking it, it might be wisdom shared by someone else. But very soon, our mind will start working in that direction. And what will happen is, after some time, we will be emerging the wisdom which is innate in us.
That's so beautiful.
Each one has it.
I love the line you said, wisdom shared by someone else.
Right.
And nothing like my own experience.
Absolutely.
Like today's experience.
It's not only experience. Experience is after you put your wisdom into practical. But even wisdom.
So my own wisdom.
Yes, because each soul is a pure, powerful soul, source of knowledge. Each soul. It's just that for anyone to emerge that knowledge or to emerge that wisdom, they have to silence the top layer. But if you're so occupied in the day-to-day thinking, we're not using that lower layer. But once we start using that deeper layer shared by somebody else, and then use that to silence our top layer, very soon we will be taking out our deeper layer, and that's magic.
Magic.
Because when we emerge our own innate wisdom, then those belief systems will change. Belief systems really don't change only by using other people's wisdom. It will not really happen. It will only be a beginning. It won't last for very long. It might be a temporary change, but after that we will go back to our own thing unless we have emerged our own. Because when we emerge our own innate wisdom, deep belief systems, deep perceptions will change because it was ours. Because when it's ours, we will know it will work. If you share something with me, I can say it works for you, but it doesn't work for me. But when it's come out from me, I'll say this works for me. I don't know whether it works for the rest of the world.
So it comes out of me by meditation.
Meditation
And
is what we did first. And using knowledge shared by someone else to silence my mind, start a new way of thinking, and that starting a new way of thinking will emerge my knowledge. That is how
starting a new way of thinking will emerge my knowledge.
Because my old sanskars of stress and anxiety, which is the top layer, will start getting silenced, like what you did today. Because we were talking in the last few days that we can change our mood. We are not dependent on situations. Our mind is our state of being. Now this is something you heard, you took it, and you used it.
Actually, honestly, I'm enjoying it like I enjoy a game of golf.
It is a game.
It is seriously, I'm not joking.
No, but then the other day...
It did not take much of burden. Instead, I'm feeling lighter.
Yeah, but the other day I told you it's a game and you said, how can you call life a game? There is so much challenging. And today you're calling it a game.
Because this is my experience.
No, because it's fun. Today you've had fun. And because you saw success to do internally, it's a game. Otherwise, it's a struggle. It's an effort. But today, because it was fun, so now you see spirituality is fun.
People used to tell me that, spirituality is when you grow old, 60, 70, 80, later age when you have to do nothing. But you know something, the other day in Hyderabad, there was a function in the auditorium in the Shanti Sarovar. I've never met the judge, one of the judge. So Justice, I don't remember his name, he was there. He was standing next to me and he announced publicly, he said, earlier I used to see this man with so much of tension on his face and he used to look old. And with spirituality, you're looking younger. And he said in front of thousands of people.
Absolutely.
The mic, it's on record.
Yeah.
So now, people's belief that if you grow old, you do that, and I am growing younger by that.
Absolutely. Because when the mind is happy, it will show on the body. When the mind is pure, it will show on the body. It will be happy, younger, and healthy. Everything. All three will work. So we need to understand that you don't require to do too much of makeup outside, but there's a lot of makeup to be done inside. So it's that inner beauty which will automatically reflect on the outer body. But then again, even in that case, we were going outside in. If I make myself look beautiful outside, then I will feel good. But actually, if I look good, I will look beautiful outside.
And then I will feel good.
Absolutely. No, no, then I will not feel good.
I am
Again, my
already
feeling
feeling
good is
good.
not going to be dependent on it. I'm going to feel good irrespective. And then look whatever is the best. But even if it's not, it doesn't matter, because my feeling is not going to be dependent on anything external. So this is your daily study. Now what you did, on basis of what you were hearing for so many days, you started using it. While you were using it, you started getting the power to be able to do it, and very soon you will be coming up with new ideas. That's emerging your wisdom. And when you emerge it, then you will know that this is going to work, because when it emerges, it pulls out the old belief systems. It's like weeds which need to be pulled out from the roots. If they're not pulled out from the roots, they're growing there very soon again.
Yeah, just like a tooth.
And that's why a lot of us are reading self-improvement books. We're going for programs and workshops and satsangs. We're watching television programs. But then what about the practical implementation? We see it for some time. Most of us will leave it to watching and listening and reading. Some of us will try it. But if we don't do it long term, it doesn't become our property. So daily study. It has to be done daily, not once in a while. That's very important. Then it becomes ours. And now meditation, and then daily study. And the third thing will automatically flow, which you've already proved to us today, daily application. Dharna. If I leave it only to meditation and study, it will not change things.
Doesn't it come naturally to Dharna?
Not always.
But
Not always.
little bit it comes.
It will, but it will only increase if I take care. Everyone could have read.
Only increase if I want to.
If I take care the whole day, it's like everyone can read this morning, I am a happy soul, and come what may, I will remain stable. Probably 100 people will read it and study it and contemplate on it.
But I promised myself that.
Yeah, not only promise, took care. This is very important.
And I was aware of it.
It will only work in our circle of relationships now. Whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether with friends, in every interaction, I have to see whether I'm shifting from that reactive behavior, my habitual reactive behavior, to a conscious responding behavior now. And that will only happen aware. How did I respond? And not only just respond outside. Some of us can learn to respond outside very beautifully. We could just smile. Acquired. But that's temporary. That's not a response.
But doesn't that show, Didi?
Yeah, but even then, we have learned to live our life with this.
Because other people also do, so
do the same.
Happy together.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, hi,
That's
how are you? You're looking
absolutely.
nice.
As
What a
long
beautiful
as
dress.
as long as both of us spoke sweetly to each other, how does it matter how we were thinking inside? But that's not response. Response is here. It's like, the hospitality industry, the customer care industry. They're all trained to respond beautifully outside. I mean, you can slam the door on their face and they will say thank you and smile and leave. That's their training. That's a part of the job. But then it's also an inspiration. If they can do it, we can do it. The only difference, they're taking care only outside. We'll take care inside. Outside will automatically happen.